Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. I want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 7, and I acknowledge the Métis people who share a deep connection with this land. My name is Court Ellingson, and I am the Alberta NDP candidate for Calgary Foothills. I'm joined here today by Amanda Chapman, our Alberta NDP candidate for Calgary Beddington, Julia Hayter, our Alberta NDP candidate for Calgary Edgemont, Alice Lamb, community builder, advocate, and member of I Love YYC Chinatown, and Joe Ceci, Alberta NDP candidate for Calgary Buffalo. On Thursday, our leader, Rachel Notley, shared our plans for a better future for Calgary. We've announced our commitments to be partners in progress with the City of Calgary to increase affordable housing, build the northern leg of the Green Line, improve access to healthcare for Calgarians and surrounding communities, and provide significant investments in Calgary's economic development through revitalizing our downtown. These commitments have so much exciting potential for our city, and we are ready to build the better future Calgarians deserve. Calgary's downtown has long served as a fundamental part of Alberta's economy and has generated tremendous wealth for those who live here. But Calgary has been particularly hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic and economic downturn. Despite an increase in global oil prices, we aren't seeing the return on investment, jobs, and downtown vibrancy that we have seen in the past. Calgary's Chinatown has been particularly hit hard. It is a beautiful neighborhood with a rich history and has served as an important cultural and economic hub for Chinese Canadian community for over a century. The Chinese community has been advocating at every level of government to help save Chinatown from disappearing. The UCP hasn't taken any significant action in the last 4 years, and we cannot let that be the status quo. Calgarians deserve a government that cares about preserving the Chinese Canadian community's rich heritage and meaningful contributions to the cultural fabric of our city. They deserve a government that will back up their words with action. To tell you more about our plans for a better future for Chinatown, I'll pass it over to Joe.
Thanks, Court. You're absolutely right. We have some incredibly exciting plans for Chinatown and Calgary's future. That's why I'm so excited to announce that when elected, the Alberta NDP will commit $1.5 million in funding to revitalize Calgary's Chinatown. This funding will support vital repairs and upgrades to Chinatown's most iconic and beloved spaces, including the Chinese Cultural Center, Scenic Park, and other historic buildings in Chinatown. It will also help upgrade the public realm surroundings many of the Chinatown's businesses and social spaces rely on, which will help increase visitors and refresh storefronts. Our commitment to improving public safety across Alberta includes restoring the $32 million in funding cut from municipalities by the UCP. We will use that money to hire 50 police officers in Calgary and 50 outreach workers, like social workers, addiction and mental health workers, who will all work together to improve public safety, reduce crime in Calgary's downtown, and connect people who are struggling with the resources they need. Residents in Chinatown are also struggling with many of the same issues as Albertans across this province. After 4 years with the UCP, we're spending more and getting very little, if anything, to show for it. And now it's become clear Danielle Smith and UCP want to make you pay to see a family doctor or to visit an emergency room. The Alberta NDP is committed to keeping public health care accessible and free. We will never charge you to see a doctor. In fact, in communities like Chinatown, we'll ensure that our family health teams will include culturally relevant resources like translators and practitioners that speak Mandarin and Cantonese so that patients feel comfortable communicating with their healthcare team in their own languages. Yesterday, we announced our commitment to introduce an anti-racism act and establish an anti-racism office. This is a new office, and it will be charged with collecting race-based data and identifying and monitoring racial disparities in the province. We will also empower the cultural and ethnocultural organizations that do so much, that create inclusive communities, by reversing the cuts made by the UCP over the last 4 years. We will strengthen anti-racism initiatives and ethnocultural grants through an additional $39 million in grant funding over 3 years. Through these grants, the NDP will support Albertans and newcomers who are looking to build a life in our province. We will be expanding settlement services, including language translation, employment services, and English language learning, creating better opportunities for Albertans to actively be part of our growing economy. Alberta's NDP is fully committed to providing wrap-around services and supports to newcomers and racialized communities, so that everyone in our province can access the incredible advantages offered here in Alberta. As Court previously mentioned, we will also work with the City of Calgary to support their goal to build the remaining 11,500 units left to meet their affordable housing goal in Calgary. The Alberta NDP is focused on real priorities with real solutions, and a better future is just around the corner. I'm now going to pass the mic over to Alice Lam to speak a little more about what our funding commitment means to the Chinese Canadian community. Alice?
Thank you, Joe. I'm so happy to hear about this financial contribution to Chinatown. I was born and raised in this neighborhood and have seen the tremendous growth and contributions this community has made over the past 100 years due to the tireless efforts of volunteers and community members. This funding complements the important work the City of Calgary and the community leaders have undertaken recently to create a sustainable plan for Chinatown's development as a continued cultural enclave for housing, commerce, education, and celebration. This announcement comes at an important time, as this year marks the 100-year anniversary of the racist and restrictive Chinese Immigration Act that prevented Chinese people from entering Canada and stopped family reunification for over 20 years. Despite these challenges, the community survived and has grown to be the vibrant fabric of housing, businesses, park space, and important cultural institutions that we get to explore, live in, and learn from every day. The announcement today will help us develop our public spaces, including safety and public realm improvements, and increase the much-needed affordable housing stock in Calgary's Chinatown. The Health Team's initiative will be vital in ensuring more Chinatown and downtown residents can benefit from access to preventative primary care and reducing demand on our burdened hospital system. By having culturally appropriate language options and service providers, this will make accessing the healthcare system more equitable for many Albertans. The anti-Asian racism that has been on the rise since 2020 has caused much stress and anxiety. This funding will help connect resources to build a stronger and safer neighborhood, and more importantly, lead the country in showing how provinces can fund initiatives that will grow and celebrate our province's cultural and ethnic diversity. We are showing leadership and commitment today, and I'm proud to be here to witness the impact this funding will make in Calgary's Chinatown for years to come.
Thanks, Alice. Thank you again, Alice. The Alberta NDP is proud to support the people and the community of Chinatown and Calgary. And with that, I'm happy to take questions.